bearing that in mind, there's a possibility that if a person is unfaithful, that, you know, you have so many versions of the thing, but at the end of the day, if a person is not faithful and you divorce them and you remarry, but do you go into a relationship hoping that? No. You go into a relationship hoping faithfulness for a lifetime. Right? So remember, it's a monogamous relationship. Also, it is a covenant relationship. And I need to spend a little 10 minutes and talk about that. Because I think if more people understand what a covenant is and where God stands on it, they will not be frivolous in the way they behave, knowing that we have to stand before God in judgment. So could you give me the definition of the word covenant? Give me your definitions of the word covenant as you relate it. From the dictionary, Bible dictionary, your own understanding. Just give me. Agreement, Brother Trevor, 1. Testament, 2. Let's go anything else? Huh? A pact. Let's go again. Partnership sealed by God. Let's go again. We're going to cover it. Right, let me help you. One. It is a pledge. A guarantee. Given. It's an undertaking. Giving your word. It's a testament. An agreement. It is an oath. We swear. Swearing is an oath. It is a promise. It is an assurance. All those are synonyms. It is a vow. The one you're very familiar with is vow. You might be familiar with pledge when you're going to get engaged. But they all carry the same understanding of a covenant. So when you enter a covenant relationship, you ought to understand what you're doing. Can't be frivolous about that. And I'll show you why. I'll show you why as we go along. So let's talk about covenant. And when we use the word vow, let's talk about it. Someone goes to Ecclesiastes 5, and let's read from verse 2 to 6. The first person get it, let's raise your hand so we bring the mic. Nobody there? Nobody there? Let's go. Like oh shucks, I am a fool. I give. Right, so I want to read. Nobody ain't read yet? Right, read.
Ecclesiastes 5, 2 to 6.
Yes.
Do not be rash with your mouth, and let not your heart utter anything hastily before God.
Pause. I don't want to rush it. Here it says, don't hurry to say things. How did God, the Bible say that God created the heaven and the earth? Let's talk about creating the heaven and the earth. How did God create the heaven and the earth? Didn't he just spoke it into existence? Didn't God just say, let there be light and there was light? That ever changed? And let the firmament separate from the firmament, and the water separate. God spoke. Words. Some people say words is wind but blows is unkind. Very wrong. Words is permanent and has power. And God is saying, be careful with your mouth. You know what Matthew 12 verse 34 to 36 says? It concludes by saying, for every idle word that a man speak, he shall give an account in judgment. For by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. Words is not something you play with and just figure it's every and anything. It's powerful. It could be damaging. You say to a young, brilliant child, you're so stupid you can't learn your work. And he learns nothing. And when they ask him, so teacher asks him, why are you not learning your work? My mommy says stupid. It damages the child's psyche. Words is powerful. And you don't just frivolously go and talk and just to get what you want and you're saying things. He says, be careful with your words. Read on.
Heaven and you on earth.
Oh yeah, know your place. That's another way of putting it. Let me put it in local term. Know your place. And when parents get vexed, there's a word that's put before that word know your. There's a word that's put before place. Good. So know your place. When you're talking, I ain't have new on earth. What will you say? Because I'll hold you accountable. Read.
Therefore, let your words be few.
Oh yes, be careful what you're saying. Choice words. You understand? They say speak soft just in case you have to eat it back. Read.
For a dream comes through much activity, and a fool's voice is known by his many words. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it.
Hold on. Is marriage a vow?
Between whom?
Between whom?
The man,
The woman, and Almighty God, the unseen guest.
Therefore,
God says, when you make a marriage as a pledge, be careful to carry it out. A prerequisite, things happen in life, God will deal with it. But God says, if you take a vow, be careful to carry it out. Read.
For he has no pleasure in fools.
Oh yes. If you talking thing you ain't want anyhow, you're a fool. Because if you understand the power of words, you'll be careful how you speak. So have no pleasures in fool. You see between one another, all you care is all you notice this, but don't come around me to nonsense. I am the Lord. Be careful with your words. When you're going to make pledge to people, you could damage them for life. And I have seen both men and women, I see people get damaged. And it have ladies who get hurt by men at an early age and stay so till they're dead, you know. They want to see nothing walking on 2 foot other than the next lady, you know. For the pain they went through, you know, and vice versa, you know. That's how damaging it could be, you know. Read on. Have no pleasure in fools.
Pay what you have vowed.
Why?
Better not to vow than to vow and not pay.
Better not to vow than to vow and not pay. Because I will not hold you guiltless. Read.
Do not let your mouth cause your flesh to sin, nor say before the messenger of God that it was an error. Why should God be angry at your excuse and destroy the work of your hands?
Read.
Verse 7. For in the multitude of dreams and many words,
Okay, right.
there is
Stop
also
there.
vanity.
In other words, the point is made. Do not take vows frivolously. And that's why it takes more time to make your choice so that you don't have to go through all them headache with your marriage. Take time to make your choice. All right? Acts 18 verse 18. But let me put up some others so we can get some speed, right? So somebody get 18 and forget Numbers chapter 6. We don't have time to read through that. But I want you to make note of it and you read it and see the consequences of making vow that you're not going to keep. That's a whole chapter. We don't have the time, so we have to redeem the time. You see it, but that's another example. But just give me Acts 18:18. Yeah, right. You have it here. What does it say?
After this, Paul stayed many days longer and then took leave of the brothers and set sail for Syria, and with him Priscilla and Aquila at Cenchrea. He had... Am I reading the right thing? Yeah.
No. What? That's what it is? Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Maybe I wonder if I ain't put enough to get the what I want.
He had cut his hair and
right.
he was under a vow.
Right. So, he was under the vow of, what you call it? Yes. So he took that vow. And when he took it, he kept it. You see, he couldn't do certain things because he was under the vow, and the vow called for you to do certain things. When you make a vow, you have to keep the vow. You understand? And the Jews and the Old Testament, they take that serious. They understand. Because they had some experience with God through the prophets and who, and them kind of thing. They know it's not something frivolous. Marriage is not frivolous. As a matter of fact, they say marriage is a serious vow. It is a serious, and we have to talk to our young people, right? Right. So let's now look at character traits that you ought to look at in terms of finding out whom you should marry. That will assist you in making your choice, right? Let's look at some character traits. Doesn't matter what kind of person. It's about the character traits. Nobody is what they look like. Everybody, you all sitting and I standing, is just lumps of clay. God take dirt and make man. You see who living inside a lump of clay? You better make time to find out. Because what you're watching is not what you're seeing. What you're watching and who inside of there, two different stories. You know what they do in the movies and damage your mind? In the movies, the star boy is always a handsome guy, well dressed and moving. And the crook is always somebody looking so. So by the time the movie starts, you know who is the star boy and you know who is the crook. But not so. The scripture tells us that Satan could appear as an angel of light. If Satan appear here now, all them ladies ain't want to see we. They forget we because how nice he would look. Eh? But he might be looking good, but would he be good looking? That's the point. Good looking is on the inside. Looking good is on the outside. And God doesn't judge us as to what we look like, but who is inside of there. We have to start to find recipe. How do I know who is inside of there? Well, I can give you a little bit of hints. Let me separate them, male, female. And let's look at the equivalent as we go along, right? Now, the Bible tells you about a real good woman. Where do you find that? Everybody know that. Proverbs 31, verse 10 to 31. They give you 22 character traits of a good woman. If a man starts out to look for a woman, identify those 22 traits in a woman, he on a good road. If you could find it in a woman. If you take that and examine the 22 traits, you ain't telling she nothing, you're just examining it, you will find out. As I said, Jesus doesn't look, he said, so long I've been with you, I want to know what the Father look like. Don't look at me and see if he resembles me. Look at the things I do. Every time Jesus acted, a word came up. 5,000 people hungry. The scripture say, and he had compassion on them and he fed them. People crying, Lazarus dead. See, and he had compassion and call him back. You'll always see that. That's the kind of God he is. That's the kind of personal traits he has. Right? For God so loved the world that he gave the only begotten son. He sacrificed. Sacrificial loving is real loving. And so on. Right? So, what traits you look for in male and female? Well, everybody know about Proverbs 31, 10 to 31. That's for the woman. You know they don't know about Job 31 for the man. So all the men know where to find a wife and who to look for. The ladies have no clue. And they always picking a whole set of crap. That's because they don't know. Now, didn't I told you earlier that men are visually stimulated, but women are turned on? So let's go to Proverbs 31. And we begin to read from verse 1. I feel I want to do my own reading. So, you have a Bible in the back there, Brother Mike? What version is that? I'm familiar with that one. You know. Let me try this. This one is what? New King James. All right, I'll try a thing. Let me see if it will work. Come on, Nikki. Yeah. Look. Yeah, I have it there. It there. The page still now. Right, so here what's happening. Hear what this man is saying. A smart woman will pay attention to this in looking for a mate. Hear what this man is saying. I know one of your biggest problems. Right. But I'm trying to go to now. Yeah. I know one of your biggest problems is this. Right? Or you forget them now, man. Them interfering with business here. Right. The man is saying to the woman, I know one of your biggest problems is this. Is that we men eye long. Right? And because of that, trust come hard. You follow? Every time I talk to our next lady or green tea too much, you have a problem. So what you really want from me is confidence that you shouldn't have that problem with other ladies. That makes sense? So hear what this man said. I have made a covenant. Who have the Bible? You have it? Are you following it, man? Job chapter 31. Proverbs? Oh God, sorry. No, Proverbs is the lady. I'm not really going there. Everybody, including the men, know what that say. You feel like going and look at that? I know if I'm looking for a lady, what I say, and the ladies know what they say. So if you want me to look for you, you practice that, I look for you. But you know what the men, what the scripture say about the men. So I'm showing you. So here what the man say. I have made a covenant with what? Because that is the problem. God does never deal with all what you ask. He deals with the problem. Plenty of time people come and ask Jesus questions, he never answer them. He always see the heart condition and deal with the real problem. A man some lawyers come to Mama Guy Jesus. After he done with them, they tried to say, we're going to mess him up, we're going to fix him. So Jesus, which is the best commandment? Jesus said, love your God with all your heart and soul and love your neighbor as yourself. So, love your neighbor? He's a carpenter's son. What law he know? Yeah, I'm going to fix him. Who is your neighbor? And they ask him, who is your neighbor? Oh, catch him. So Jesus tell them a story about a man, you know, the Samaritan who get beat up. You know, the man who get beat up on the way. And a priest pass. And the Pharisee pass too. Because see, the priest pass and the training priest pass. And then a Samaritan a no good pass and take care of the man. And when he done, he asked them, who is the man neighbor? They said the Samaritan. Why did Jesus just do that? Jesus actually said to the Pharisees, it's people like you who played holier than thou who just do them thing. The priests represent you, and the practicing priests represent you, and the people outcast did better than you. So go and do like he. He didn't answer what they asked him. He answered the condition of their heart. So here what God is saying, I have made a covenant with my eye. So you're worrying that you go look at other ladies. He said, no, I made a covenant in my eye. My eye will not linger on them. It will only linger on you. That's what he said. And you like that. Look at his smile. And she's smiling from this ears to that ears. From this ears to that ears. She liked that. Eh? He said, no, you're not to worry about that. That is the problem. He went on to say, why then should I look upon any woman? Huh? Scripture says, why should I look upon a young woman? Now, here what has happened. A lot of men don't mature properly. They remain immature practically their whole life. Why? So they see a nice young lady like Celine in her prime, 18, 19, 20, 21. Nice. As we say, looking sexy like a Coke's bottle. And after she make 3 children, she no longer have breasts, she have tututs now. You understand? Eh? And this nice shape here gone, 2 tires. Eh? So he now going back to look at her next 18-year-old. What happened is that she didn't grow in physical beauty, she grew in value. When you had nothing catching your royal, who was there with you? That same woman. Huh? That same woman. She grew in value. Who is the mother of your children? That same woman. And instead of seeing value, he gone frivolously, the eye bothering him. Only watching for Coke's bottle all over the place. And soon as them Coke's bottle go on and turn into ketchup bottle, he gone again. You understand what is happening? It cannot work. It can't work. Right? So he says, for what is the allotment of God from above and the inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is it not destruction for wickedness and disaster for the workers of sinners? Does he not see my way and count my steps? So okay, nobody know what I'm doing, but doesn't God know what's happening? And God don't like that. God say that be careful to love the wife of your youth. All right, you go visit you. Say he mixing matter with that, you know, you go visit you. Right? So that wife of your youth who grow with you, now you're fine, get old. He say, careful how you handle that, you know. All right. He say, if I walk with falsehood, and if my foot has hastened to deceit, let me be way honest on the scale, that God may know my integrity. If my steps turn from the way, or my heart walk after my eyes. He said, no, I can't do that. So I make a covenant in my eye that, yes, that lady looking good to keep away from. I have my wife. Now, let me not be hypocritical, right? And a lady should give a man a little break in the sense. Here, the sense. I love mangoes. And I nearly lost my way there because this sister was walking a 3 thing in her hand. And I do so, and I go to talk, I see it was Zabuka. So I said nothing. Because I thought it was mango, and I was going to tell you, make sure you put aside mine. I love mangoes. If I'm walking on the road and I see some pretty mango on a tree, am I not going to say it's pretty mangoes? If I'm walking on the road and a woman have a nice, well-groomed poodle, am I not going to say it's a good poodle? So if a beautiful woman coming along the road, I said, no, I didn't see she. Eh? No, that's hypocrisy. The question is lingering upon her with lust in your heart. But you're not going to add, nobody here could not admit that Wendy Fitzwilliam is beautiful. Or Janelle Penny won Miss Universe. Nobody could deny that. And if he watch, let's say he watches this star, says she pretty, you can't vex her that. I mean, she's pretty. He's not saying because she's pretty, I'm going to exchange her for you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's how it is done, not what is done. How it's done. You have to have respect. And so on, right? So he's saying, I'm not going to do that. And I make a covenant with my eyes. Right. Let me just finish the 12. Hold the question. If my heart has been enticed by a woman, or if I lurk after my neighbor's door, then let another man have my wife. So he's saying, if I can't control my eye and I want to go astray, then I deserve to lose my wife. But I intend to do that. So he's giving you the confidence that I will not walk after my eyes, but I'll walk after my heart, which is after God, and put you in the right place. Yeah.
Okay, you said before that the men are visual.
Yeah.
Okay. When the tires come on the woman and the tuts come, as you say, how is it that the man is switching from being visual? Because they're watching you different. How is it, how do you all make that switch?
He has to grow with you. You see, he didn't grow. If he is growing with you and understanding your value, it is not that he wouldn't see that beauty, but he will understand, that beauty is not worth where you are. I'm not going to give up that. You have to understand your value to the relationship and grow with you. A lot of people grow apart instead of grow together. So that I often tell people you cannot fall in love. And that's the problem. You can't fall in love. When somebody says they fall in love, it's lust. Love, you grow in love. So somebody goes to a nursery, see plenty plants and say, oh, they're pretty. I want this one, I want that one, I want that one. They buy it and they carry it home. And we sit down, brap. And a week after, I say, how the plant going? They say, all dead. Well, every morning somebody came and watered that, take off the dry leaf, put a little manure, nurture it, and it blossom in. You feel like you take your relationship and rest it down and expect it to blossom? So while she was not, just like how our inner being is growing beautiful every day, ready for heaven, but our outer being is decaying. Similarly, she should be growing in value in his eyes. You follow? But that didn't happen. So he remained on the carnal, cursory level. That's right. So therefore, and that's where proper teaching comes in the church. You understand? There are a lot of things we do right that we teach, but there are some things we fail to do. Not that we do it bad, we just fail to do it. And all this thing we have to teach people. So we have to help the young people make right choice. And then when they make the choice, teach them how to nurture it and how to grow. And we don't do that. So for instance, he is courting her and he wants to keep her before him. And he's making sure I walk into a little rose, a little chocolate, take her out, all the nice things. When they get married, he stopped because he win the prize. Now, what did it take for him to win her? It's the same thing it takes to keep her. That's right. And he forget that. So all of a sudden, she gets no chocolate, like he forget about chocolate. She don't like it again. You understand? So this is what I'm saying, the teaching and nurturing is a problem. Yeah.
In respect to the question asked, right? In respect to the question that was asked in terms of the physical attraction that the men have when she's
young
like,
and pretty.
Yeah, young and pretty like Coca-Cola bottle. And the experiences that she have in child rearing and development and the changes in her body. Right? One has to be able to understand that even though that you are having children and there are changes in your body, you still need to put some emphasis on maintaining how you look. Right? And we often become sidetracked because of the daily things that we are involved in. No more exercises, no more dressing well, no more looking good in the bedroom. You're putting on what you want, all kind of baggy thing, all kind of old shop thing, and all them kind of things. You're no longer trying to make yourself attractive. And these are the things that will kind of turn off.
Right.
Right, the partners, right, the men. You no longer want to take time off to exercise, so we belly getting baggy and big too.
So, hey, leave my belly alone.
So these are the things. No, I'm speaking because the time off that you would take, you know, I remember prior to my marriage and thing, I used to get up in the morning, exercise, run down the highway, to and fro, you know, looking dumb pack, you know, in the evening time I come from work, I start all over, I might pass by my girl and looking a little sweaty, yes, but I well trim and, you know, looking good. After I'm married and thing, it's just the food and thing, and you're feeling lazy, you relax back and the belly start to get big, and you know, so these are the, and then she said, "How are you looking so?" But she ain't telling him in her mind, like, she ain't taking care of herself. You know, and this is what happens from time to time. Our emphasis is no longer in making ourselves attractive anymore.
And well spoken, pass it, I have two on the side, two, right, so we pass it, Brother Trevor, just give the, before I take it, I just want to say, and Brother Errol is right, we could do the best we could to help the situation, but the focus can't be on that, because, you know, sometimes, based on your bone structure and, you know, health, you know, you put on, and these things, so you do the best you could and present yourself as best you could, you know, to help your partner.
Well, because that is what I wanted to say. While I
talking the mic, unless it went off or something.
No. Actually, I'm struggling with asthma. While I agree with what the brother was saying, one of the things we have to take into account is that when I'm on my own, coming from my parents' home, you see me when we see. So, of course, when I come in to see, I'll be looking all attractive and all or wherever else. And you're not responsible for that. It's my parents and whoever else, me or whatever. When we get into the home together, where the money I would have spent on looking all beautiful and things had to be spent now on your house,
Lord have mercy.
on the fridge, on the stove, on the car, and all kind of thing. You know, so we, so we need to really, you know, get a grip on it and realize that at the end of the day, responsibilities generally sometimes cause these shifts and so on. So you have to know that you contributed, because now that she was spending all the beauty money on your car and the house and all of that, you have contributed to her not looking all the beautiful thing that you want to be looking and seeing. And the woman, same thing. You've contributed to letting him look however we do. So get with your program and fix your problem.
Amen, amen. And well spoken. You see, so what we're saying is, and that's where the family enhancement group come in. That we can keep these things before people to help them. You understand? But a lot of time people have no help. Thank God, well, you all started in Tobago, you have the family food. In Trinidad, we have the family enhancement. And you keep these things before people. Sometimes we need to hear that so we can make some adjustment to our lives to make it more fruitful and more beautiful as we live it out. Our sister, okay, right, okay. Right, so let me just move on a bit. Right, so we understand that area there with the male, female. While if a man is looking for a princess, then he must be a prince. So he mustn't get a princess and she get a dog. You understand? No, it doesn't work that way. So while she's working on her Proverbs 31, you work on your Proverbs 31. Your Job 31. You understand? So we have a prince and a princess meeting and ready to take off from there. Okay? Also, we know about Ephesians 5 from verse 21 right down to 31. And it talks about both the man and the woman there. And I wish we had the time for me to really go in to do justice to that. But suffices to say, you have a whiteboard or something? We don't have a little board I could just do a little drawing on? Okay. I had to skip what I'm going to do because I had to literally demonstrate it for you to see. But let me just say this. When you go out of the faith, let me show you what you expose yourself to. In Ephesians 5:21, notice it's not there. Paul is talking and he says to the church, submit yourself one to another in the fear of God. Right? No, he's not talking about husband and wife. He's not talking about husband and wife. He's talking to the church. So guess what? He is a brother in the church. If he is going wrong, could this sister speak to him? Yes, she could. He needs to submit to the right thing. If she is going wrong, could he speak to her? Yes, he could. She needs to submit. He said, so brothers and sisters in the church, we must have a relationship to submit to one another by the word of God. What is right? Then, verse 22, he goes into marriage. He doesn't talk about brothers and sisters. He said, you wives. He addressed wives. Submit yourself unto your own husband. Now, the reason why he put the word own there, because so many women submit themselves to other people's husbands, but not their own. When he talked to them, she had to get the last say, back talk down the line. So God knows what he's doing. God does not address what you want. Yes. He addressed the problem. What the problem is? Men do not have a submission problem. Even sometimes when they shouldn't submit, the Dutch men and them submitting and mash up the place. Men have a submission problem, but the woman does. So he addresses the problem. And here the beautiful thing is, Brother Leon is a Christian, his wife is a Christian. He mashing up the place. She comes to me. I go home and talk to him. He mightn't take me on, but he will listen. When she marries someone out of faith, we can't invoke verse 21. He said outside the gate, they're sharpening the cutlass. Come in my yard now. You understand? But when you are in the faith, at least we know if your husband is a man of God, he will submit to the man of God. So you put yourself at risk. And he deals with the woman problem. Then he comes down to verse 25 and deals with the man problem. What is the man problem? Are you sticking it, boy? Well, you can hold it from here, right? Just now. Let me just finish the man problem here. Hold it 1 second. The man problem is not one of submission. It's one of love. Ye husband, love your wives. And he didn't leave it up to him to love his wife. He knows campish me and Brother Trevor and Brother Antoine is. So what does he say? As Christ loved the church. How Christ loved the church? He gave his life. So what is he saying to women? You ask him if he's willing to give his life for you. Because if he ain't willing, he ready. You see, you have to sacrifice your life. And your life and literally mean somebody shoot and you dive in front and take the bullet. Oh, let me tell you what harder to sacrifice life. Boy, Brother Antoine, the tires, boy, the ride need tires. His wife need shoes. He tells, she said, babes, look my shoe, big hole. He said, babes, don't worry, when I get paid month 10, I will buy the shoe for you. She said, okay, babes, I will wait. Go on down the road, pow, tire blow out. Go on by the credit union, same time. Take a loan and put on tire on the vehicle. Question, who does he love more? But you know, you'll never get him to say that. You say, babes, you know I love you the most, but you know I have to fix the ride. Pressure. You see, it gets difficult. But what we say is better you pack up the ride. And you see, the thing is, when you do that, she say, oh God, you really love me too. Let her insist that you wait till month and pour on the tire. Let she insist. But demonstrate that love, that you come first. And so, wait, and God knows that. So you're asking me, but God knows that. So here's what God does. God knows men have the problem. Come, both of you come. Yeah, both of you come. They are walking down the road. You tell me, they turn around face them. Both of them walking on the road. You tell me who holding who hand. Or look at fool on yourself. The woman usually is the one that be holding the man's hand. Wait, what do you tell me? So God is saying, you have a problem, you fool. God, let go my hand, I look the boys on them on the block. You know, let go your hand. God say, you fool. Tonight when your head hot in you, the tire come in and put lime and color in your head. The boys and them come in and give a massage. God is saying, no, love your wife, forget them. Love your wife. That's what, all right, right, let me go, fellas, let me go. I just want to show you a little problem that comes up. And I always like to demonstrate this, right? Oops. If I could get this thing, I know how to say. Right. The world approach relationship like this. A guy sees a woman, right? Right. So you what happen? A guy sees a woman. The scripture tell you about agape. You all familiar, Greek scholars? The love of God, unconditional. There's no reason. Right? When man is sin, what's the wages of sin? But did you get that? No, God gave you life. What's the reason? God so loved. That is unconditional. What he should give you is that. He gives you mercy and apply grace and give you eternal life. Can't reason with that. So when God is talking about love, it has to be unconditional. So if you love everybody unconditional, then we start to work. Then you have here Eros. Well, me know how to spell it too much, but I know it's Eros. E-R-O-S, right. This is where the word erotic comes from. That's the love shared between a man and a woman. So when you see how you feel a particular way, and that is right for a man to feel so about his wife. I am saying, the women who want to walk down the road with tight clothes and a little piece of thing, they don't know what they're doing. If men is visually stimulated, why are you adding to it and wonder why we're having so much rape problems? You don't add to that. Dress properly. You have nothing to prove. You see when you get married? When your husband come and push the door, let him drop down dead. Let him drop down dead. Have on a nice, pretty piece, a little piece of thing, and a little piece of thing down here, let him drop dead when he reach there. He come home hungry and he said, don't worry with the food. Let me go so. That is all right. That is where you should be wearing a little piece of clothes, not in the road. You understand what I'm saying? So, eros take place in marriage. But we know of phileo. Spell it for me. F? No E. F-I-L-I-O, or something like that? Man, we ain't no Greek scholars. But we know what it means. Right, good. This talks about a friendly love. A friendly love. Where the Bible says that Jonathan had loved David. You understand? And when his father was trying to kill him, he used to carry food up in the mountain for him in the cave and tell him the father's strategy so he wouldn't get to kill him. So when we talk about our love, it's nothing to do with homosexuality, and it talks about a genuine friendship. Right? So if men want to meet women and they even know them and have sex, you know what the Bible says? Adam did what? Knew Eve. You don't have sex with people you don't know. You think the Bible couldn't say Adam and Eve lay together or had sex? You don't have sex with people you don't know. Say Abraham knew Sarah and they had a son. But they even know people where you jump in bed. You even make friends with them. Most couples' relationship never reach the level of God's love. If we start with agape, the love of God, and then make friendship, then person should not marry somebody who is not a friend. And if we have the love of God and make the right friendship, man, we could mash up the place. When you see this house rocking, don't come knocking. That's what I'm saying? Right, thanks, fellas. Good? So we need to understand that. My time expired, so let me hustle here. Right, so we deal with Ephesians. 1 Peter 3:7 says that husbands ought to love their wives according to knowledge. Men cannot understand women, and when you get into a marriage, you have to make time to know them. In Genesis chapter 24, thereabout, I think it's verse 5, the law was passed in Israel. When a man takes a new wife, he is not to work for a year, but to stay home and cheer up the wife of his youth. If I am around you for a whole year, I want to see how long you can pretend. So all the things will come out. And by the love of God, we will deal with them. By the time I leave to go to work and we separate, we have a foundation. Couples ain't know one another. They're having sex, they're married, and when they get in, they want to know, what happened? Who hit we? Somebody give me rum? We drunk, how we end up in this relationship? We ain't ready for this? And if I'm ready, I wasn't going to marry you, and I wasn't married in you either. No, because we don't understand. We need to understand. So Peter says, spend some time. You see, men, they dry up and boring. Jersey pants, jersey pants, jersey pants, jersey pants. Oops. Shirt pants, jersey pants, jersey. I ain't finishing. All boring. Hey, Brother Trevor, jersey pants. Watch the ladies now. I ain't had time to go through. Huh? Watch her here. Watch that one here. If I only deal with the hair alone, they're done. They are very interesting and complicated. So if you ain't make time, how you expect to understand them? Men don't make enough time to understand what they're dealing with. And that's a lesson by itself. We ain't going there today. So, right? But then, 1 Peter 3:1-6 address the women. So likewise, you wives, and tell you what to do. Most women cannot get their husband to change. Because what it takes, none of you all is prepared to do it. Yes. You know what's funny? I'm saying what it takes for your husband to change, you're not prepared to do it. What it is? You really want to hear? Okay, go to 1 Peter 3. I didn't want to go, but there we go. There we go. Go to 1 Peter 3. And I know you will only keep quiet because it's in the Bible. But when you leave here, your heart ain't going and do that. Your heart ain't going and do that. But in respect to the word of God, you will listen. But there we go. Anybody ready to read? So wait, when he said wives in a similar way, he had just spoken to the men.
Yes.
Tell them what they're to do. So he's talking to the women now, right? In a similar way, what?
Place yourselves under your husband's authority.
Oh my God, Father. Let's say a prayer. Somebody want to say a prayer? Anybody? Brother Leo, you want to say a prayer for me? You want to say a prayer for me? You go ahead, read.
Some husbands may not obey God's word.
So the thing is, if you end up in a relationship where your husband is not Christian, both of we could be in the world having a ball and we marry. So we marry. Marriage is honorable. And then you decide you're understanding where they become a Christian. Your husband is still not a Christian. But you would like him to be a Christian. You can't bully him to be a Christian.
That's right.
You can't nag him into a Christian. You can't preach in his head to be a Christian. It will not work. You can't force him. Yeah, but it will mash up the relationship.
Yeah.
You can't make him do it. The question is, the Bible is telling you can't do that. Read. It says, some of your husband will not be Christian. Read.
Their wives could win these men.
You could do what?
Win these men.
How are you going to win them? Let me hear the recipe.
For Christ.
You could win
By
them for
the
Christ.
way they live without saying anything.
Oh God! Without. Listen. Read that part again. You read wrong. Without doing what?
Saying
No,
anything.
Hey, that we don't read that version. Without saying anything. You ain't want to finish the reading. You see, we don't understand. It's God make us.
Yes.
He said without saying anything, but how? Let's continue.
Yes. Their husbands would see how pure and reverent their lives are.
Right, so here what happened. Men like to pretend. And here what? You are having an impact on his life, but you don't want to change. You want to come home and go online with the boys, drink, do all kind of worthless thing. Anytime he let you know that he listening to you, he know the next thing he'll say, so why you ain't do it? So he resisting right through. But God said, you don't worry about that. God said, if you do what I say, I will have a big piece of a bull pistol. And I will be beating him in the conscience. You wouldn't know any gain it. But you sit down there taking it and playing it, you feeling it, but you feeling it.
Yes, definitely.
God says, so you could win him without a word, but hear what he's watching. When he go down on the block, what's his name? Devon. He meet Brother Trevor. Brother Trevor, boy, I have a real good wife, you know. That woman just cook. She's get up 4 o'clock. He confessing, you know. But he want you to know that, you know. You will never hear that. But he telling them, yeah, I ain't want to lose you at all, you know. He glorying down the road, you know. But anytime he come home and admit that, you know it's pressure. So he playing, he ain't observe nothing. And like it don't matter. And you feel God, you think you can fool God? God telling him, we read.
Wives must not let their beauty be something external.
Right. So you see, that's what I was saying. Although we need to watch at the belly and all the different things, it's important. But to say your beauty, your real beauty that is watched, is not external. It's internal. Huh? For instance, the person who could best choose a wife is a blind man. You know why? He can't see nothing to distract him. Hear what he sees. So he is interested in a wife. All these ladies are here. All right? And all he can do is hear voices. He can't see anybody. And this guy said, oh God, my foot hurting me. And Celine said, let me look at it. She has compassion. Huh? Right? She said, oh God, I'm hungry, but I ain't bring no food. I have no money to buy nothing in the bag there now. She said, it's okay, I'll buy one for you. I blind, I need somebody like that who understand what is real. And she's seeing clear like crystal. So without the eye, he's seeing better. You know what might happen? If he wake up and he ain't pleased with her, he say, oh God, is you a married boy? You understand what I'm saying? So this eye can deceive you. But this eye see what is real. And that's why when you're looking for a mate for life, you have to look inside and not outside. And what God is saying, let me just finish up, hold it there, Brother Andre. What God is saying is that the man is seeing all your virtues, how you are obedient, how you will get up and cook, and you'll then go and worship, you'll come back. If he sit down and wait, you'll dish out the food. He watching it, it look like advantage, but hear what you say. I am not playing for now, I'm playing for permanent. Read.
Beauty doesn't come from hairstyles, gold jewelry, or clothes. Rather, beauty is something internal that can't be destroyed. Beauty expresses itself in a gentle and quiet attitude, which God considers precious.
So what God is saying, if I, God, is looking for a wife, you see the attitude you have to have? God is saying to women, if you ain't like that, don't even think about me, you can't marry me. If you feel all them nice things you're wearing and the latest style, that ain't bothering me. I am not seeing that. God is saying, yes, have all that, the right color lipstick to match with your nose and all kind of thing. But God is saying, while I'm seeing all that, I am looking past that. Because if you didn't have these attributes, I'm not interested. Read.
After all, this is how holy women who had confidence in God expressed their beauty in the past. They placed themselves under their husband's authority.
Example.
As Sarah did.
Sarah
obeyed Abraham and spoke to him respectfully.
Yes.
You became Sarah's daughters by not letting anything make you afraid to do good.
Right. So you see what? Sarah called Abraham Lord. In other words, you are Lord of my life here. That's Almighty God, but on this planet, I can put my trust in you. A woman that does not want to subject herself to her husband cannot please God. The question is, why pick a man that is a maniku and then tell God, I can't submit to him? Is God, why you want to do that? God said, if you pick him, you have to submit to him. Do not pick a man who will make your life miserable. The signs are there. You understand? You come to worship. Because he is always in worship, I mean he's the Christian you're looking for. But you see here for the last 20 years, he wouldn't even say an opening prayer. He wouldn't do the Lord's Supper. He wouldn't go out in the field. He wouldn't do nothing concerning Christianity. All he's doing, he's not part of the problem. He's not part of the solution. He's just part of the landscape. Come and sit down there. And we're going to say, well, I marry him, he's a Christian. No, God expects you to have wisdom. And therefore, not marry a churchgoer, marry a Christian. So you have to ask God for wisdom to culminate all these virtues into this person. And you will see it emanating from them, and you'll latch onto it. Yeah. That's what it is. Right, to better Andre.
One of the problems some Christian women have in respect to marrying or having a relationship with your partner who is not a Christian, you cannot display a holier-than-thou attitude.
Amen.
Once you display that holier-than-thou attitude, I'm not saying don't live a life and uphold the standards that God wants you to, in terms of letting him know what you stand for. But because you are Christian and he's not, he may bring home his friends, and they might have a drink, and he said, honey, just wash a glass for me, please. And you come with this attitude. You know, as a Christian, you're ungodly reprobate. I'm not going to wash this glass for you. You know what I stand for. You cannot be humiliating your husband
and embarrassing
him and expect somewhere down the line he would submit and become a Christian. You cannot do that. You have to show him respect, even if you're displeased about certain things. They say after, but honey, you know certain things about me. Why are you doing that? Well, but you cannot humiliate your husband in the presence of company and expect him to become a Christian.
Right. Let me just do this last thing. I'm taking 5 more minutes. So hold your question and I'll just take it at the end, right? So hold what I have now. Some prerequisites for choosing a lifetime mate. 1, look for true beauty. Not outer beauty, we just talked about it. We just had it. Inner beauty. So don't look at how pretty the lady is, or how handsome the man is, or what car he's driving, or how much money in the bank. That could help, but look for true beauty. Not outer beauty, but inner beauty, which is permanent, as you just said, and eternal. That's 1. And look, that's the scripture we just read, 1 Peter 3, 1-8. Also, environmental factors count. All right? What am I saying? We're not casting on anybody. We are people of God. But environment does affect decisions you make. A person growing, and let's say I don't know Tobago in terms of some of the thing and culturally, right? But I know Trinidad. In Trinidad, we have certain parts of Beetham and Lavantil where a lot of crime and killing take place, and people grow in an environment of crime where they practice crime for a living and it's normal to them. If you pick somebody from that environment, you have to be careful. And I'm not going to say, I can't find a good person there. They say, what good could come out of Nazareth? Jesus came from Nazareth. So you could find a good person anywhere. But you cannot ignore the fact that a certain environment produces certain kinds of behavior. So you have to take that into consideration. A person comes from a home where all the father doing is drinking rum and beating the wife, chances are the child might follow likewise. So you can't ignore the environmental factors, but you have to take it into consideration. It wouldn't be the sole reason that you're going to use to make a decision, but you can't ignore it. Also, personal character. You have to pay attention to that. A person might have poor ethical values and all them different things. You have to do that. For instance, okay. So let's say, well, I don't get licks already, so might as well take all, right? Right. So let's say both of them go in the grocery to buy something. He gave the man $5 to take $3. How much change is he supposed to get? The man thought the $5 was $100. And instead of giving him $2, give him $97 change. He come and say, babes, God bless me today, girl. The man, give me that. God know was broken. And he provided for me. And then she said, no, you're robbing the man. She said, I didn't ask the man for it to give me. You see what's going on? Now, what is clashing there? Ethical values. And you can't take notice of that. That is the kind of value a person has. So if they're not willing to change that, you know what you're going into. Right? So you must look at personal character of people, the traits and so on. All right? Right. And finally, you must look at health. Take note of the scripture when you get a chance to read. Right? But I have time, I'm trying to close up. But you must take health into consideration. What am I saying? He marries a young lady. You could take some licks? No, you can't. No, he can't take no licks. I want people. Well, these 4 been taking the licks and we come into our clothes, so might as well. Right? So he decided to marry her. They do no health check. They have 3 children. And then she discovered that madness run in his family. And she had 3 mad children running on the house. How are we dealing with that? And now she's saying, but you should have tell me that. Right? Today, there's a couple, but I'm trying familiar with, that we dealt with, where one morning the girl go by the doctor and realized she has 5 venereal disease one time. Right? 5 one time. And some of these venereal disease could hide. So what happened is, when you met me, I didn't show any signs of it, because my body fight it off, and it lie low. Now it shows up. Big argument going on. I say, I didn't do anything. Since I married, I've been faithful to you. And you say, I didn't give you, it's you give me. The truth is, one of them had it, but it might not have showed itself. They should have done a medical examination with the blood. And a blood test, clinical blood test, may have revealed it. So I am saying, you need to be fair to somebody. I am saying we live in a different era. So I am going to marry a young lady. And I'm saying, you know what is this? This is my AIDS certificate. You see it's clean? Let me see yours. All right, now. We're going to come back now. come back next time. We're going to talk next time. In other words, I'm saying this is reality. Yes, you have to check your health. Right? It's how people could born with it, not because they did anything wrong. The parents pass it on to them. So you cannot frivolously just like somebody. You have to be very conscious of the world we're living in today. So you have to take health situation, right? And we already talk about religious differences. I will stop there. Right, so final questions or comments? Yes.
So you get married, and the world will tell you, your husband can't make children. You have some options, right? You go through all the fertility, la 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 la, and it still don't work, and your husband is the problem. The world tell you, some people tell you, well, let me just find a partner who could handle you, 1, 2, 3 times, and you make a child, and you're good to go. You hear people talking, eh?
Right, so let me put several things there. One, I'll give you an example first. I had a friend. Both parties I knew, grew up with. And the guy could not produce, sufficient sperm, so they couldn't have children. And it was driving her nuts. She wanted a child. She didn't think about going to the orphanage and adopt. She wanted a child. She goes to a doctor. The doctor advice was, find a man resembling your husband and let him give you a child. She did that. She did that and did get the child. And in the course of time, people keep telling the husband that child ain't yours. That child ain't yours. He decided to do a paternity test. It wasn't his child. The relationship ended up in wreck. She ended up an alcoholic. She ended up in, it's Cora. Cora is the place where this deal with it. She ended up there. That was the end of them. So, that is the world's advice. I am saying, let's go deeper. God, while he has power to heal all our physical ailment, God ain't too concerned about that. God is concerned about your spiritual destination, whether you'll come home to glory. If cancer will kill you, faithful, and make it to glory, God said that is all right. Huh? God said that is all right. Lazarus was hungry till he died and it killed him. You know the next thing we read about Lazarus? Abraham's bosom. So our physical circumstances is not our eternal destination. If God made you barren, have you asked yourself why? What is God trying to save you from? I'll give you an example. As a young person, I used to worship in Belmont, the Church of Christ in Belmont. There's a woman there who cursed God because she wanted a child and God wouldn't give her a child. She get pregnant and the child abort. And she find God wouldn't give her a child. So she went on along and she got a child. When he was 16 years old, he ended up on a robbery and a shootout to the police and he get killed. She get fat like this and never recuperate. Did she know what God was trying to save her from? We do not know what tomorrow holds, but we know who holds tomorrow. And we mustn't talk that, we must live it. And if God does not give you children, be contented that he's still your God and he governs your life. You can have a happy life. If you insist you want children to mind, real love does not mean that the child has to be your biological child. You can adopt a child and give that child love. And plenty of people will confess to you that they have mind their children and mind adopt children, and that adopted child turned out to be a lot better than their own children. Huh? So at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about praying and ask God to direct you where you want it to be.
And that takes maturity as a Christian, eh?
Thank you. All right, so that's why you need good leadership to help you to bear the burden along and work with you. Any other question? Well, I want to thank you all. You've been a wonderful audience. I enjoy, teaching and exchanging and growing together. May God bless you all mightily. I hand over to Brother Stuart. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Can I leave this or going with it?
No, I could leave it if I want to use it, so no problem. We'll take it off for the time being. You go ahead and talk.
No, I'll put it in my own.
Oh, no, go ahead and talk. I just want to...
All right. Okay, so I hope that you all had some value from this morning.
Right, you're clear there.
All right, so, yes.
Oh, God, sorry. Right.
All right. The afternoon session, we will...
Yeah. Michael, what try to put something from to talk. Just I'll bring a big one. No, not yet. Just
okay. I'm going to do a session. Will you go home? Yes. Yeah, I'm going to do a session so that I leave in the afternoon. Yeah. Right? One of the things that we recognize is that, you know, we become good in our academics. People have become very successful in their jobs. They've been very successful as business people. But you know where we fail? We feel that we have a master's or doctorate or God and the relationship is just not working. So the question is why? Why is it we have such a high failure rate in relationship? My suggestion is that we tend to get into the relationship the wrong way. For the wrong reason. And therefore with the wrong people. There is a wish person we have in our head. This dream person. This person that we take and tell ourselves, this is the kind of person that I would like. The person, thank you. The person has certain physical attributes. Tall, dark, handsome. So people who are short, stocky, and they're so good looking, never make the grade. So, you will leave off somebody who could have had a good potential just because they didn't have the physical attributes. And we settle for somebody with the beauty and the handsomeness. And then we recognize that not you alone wanted that tall, dark, handsome person. In fact, that person also knew that you are not the only one they are prepared to settle with to give them you of that tall, dark, and handsome. But you can't expect to get a very good-looking person and think that you're alone going to land up with the person. There's going to be competition. There's going to be competition. And so you can't be a jealous person, want that, and then don't expect to have it. Looks not it. Most of us get into relationships because of looks. Most of us. But when we leave relationships, most times it's not because of looks. It's because of character. So how could we get into a relationship because of looks and leave it because of character? Something is flawed with that. That's why character must come first. Because character is who you are. Character is how you live. Character is the real you. So we have a lot of people spending time in gym. A lot of ladies who go in there and work out and looking good. And then we end up buying what we don't want. You know, because relationship really is a business. Yeah, it's a business. You are selling something and I want to buy something. So it is said that a man wants two things from a woman. Yeah? What do you think those two things are? You must at least get one. Of course! What is it? You all are trying to pretend to be so nice, stooge people? Every man, Christian or no Christian, wants sex. You understand? So that's the number one of the things that a man wants. The second thing that a man wants is a woman to take care of him. Yeah? A woman to take care of him. You could say what you want. I have never met a man who say, me, I want no woman who could cook for me. I don't want no woman who could wash clothes for me. I don't want no woman who could take care of no house. Me, I want that kind of woman. You would never find that. Ever. So when a woman says, you see me, I ain't be no slave to no man, and I ain't going to do this for no man, I ain't going to, he must wash his own clothes, he must do his own thing and all of that, and you say that is, you not doing that, you have written off yourself off of 50% of what the man is looking for. So you have left now. The only other thing is sex. And no man is going to invest heavy in purely sexual relationship because he can get that elsewhere. And you are not the greatest at it. So therefore, it begins to let the relationship be very shaky. And that is what the people who have researched it said, that men look for. And I have not met a man who says, no, I don't agree with that. But they say a woman looking for 4 things to buy in this business arrangement with a man. The man is looking for 2. The 2 are somebody to take care of him. Why? Because he had a mother who took care of him. So a man is really looking for a replacement for his mother. So we don't like to hear it. Oh, what do you think? I'm his mother? Yes! That's what he's looking for. And you have so many women loving up their sons, taking care of their sons, washing for their sons and doing everything for their sons because he's my darling son, especially with their one child, my darling son. And then usher him out into adulthood. For a woman who says, I don't want that, I don't plan to do that, when his mother taught him, that is what I am prepared to do for you. So you have a lot of young men who cannot wash, cannot cook, cannot take care of themselves. Why? Because they have a doting mother who made them into a guy that women don't want. So much of the problems of the dysfunction of boys come from mothers. We run here a camp every year for boys. And we were playing marbles outside there. And a mother came here and saw the dirt on his foot and quarreled. Look at how his foot dirty. She wanted a clean boy. You don't get that. You don't get that. A young lady told me she no longer allows her son to go by his father on weekend because she went to pick him up one weekend, and not only one weekend but more than one weekend, and he has have all kind of scratch on his skin and so on. So I said, where are you getting this scratch from? His father is taking bush, look for crab, hunt, and so on, and scratching up the boy's skin. So she stopped him going by the father because his skin having too much scratch. Let me tell you, I have a scar on my leg here, running all here, for where I broke my leg riding motorbike. Whenever I meet a motorbike guy, we boast on scars. You think you could ride better than me? Look my scar. And the next man will say, but look, I break my foot here. Because we pride ourselves. This is what we look at. When you have us with this clean skin, you are making us feminine. Yes.
Seriously, a co-worker, she had a boy inside baking, doing everything inside, sewing curtain and thing. She came home a day and met him, a boy in our house. She minded him, she grew a monster. He ended up homo, he has since died.
Yeah. And I'm saying those are things that we have to be careful about. Allow the man in the boy to start coming out. Amen. Right? And that's what we have to do. Now, if you all need to leave for your lunch, you all can, eh? Because I know that you all need to. Yeah.
When you break, what time you come back?
The chances are by about 12:30. No, this is what, 12:30 and about 1:30. About 1:30. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you all very much. Yes. So the man is looking for 2 things from the woman. The woman is looking for 4 things from a man. This is what this study is saying. Now, Notice that a woman is looking for twice as much from a man as a man is looking from a woman. But you tell me whether this study is right. A woman wants to buy in this business arrangement from a man, number one, loyalty. I want a man who's loyal to me. Yeah? Sometimes when they get it, they can't recognize it. Well, and that's because sometimes they bring in from the history. The last man may have been disloyal to them, so they assume this next one is also going to be. So they search our cell phones. And they go through the email, and they go in there, because they bring in history to play today. Yeah? Let me just remind the viewers who we are live, streaming live, that we will be breaking after here, and then we will come back again at 1:30. You can click on YouTube, Church of Christ Canaan, to be able to view it. And those of you here can review this on YouTube when you go home. Yes. So the woman is looking for loyalty. The second thing she's looking for is admirability. She wants a man to admire her. That is why the largest money spinning business in the world is cosmetics, beauty, hair, clothing. It's the largest. And the biggest spenders of it are women, so that they'll be admired. They're not doing this because they have excess money. They're doing it so that a man could say, you look good. Though they say, I'm not doing it for no man, I'm doing it because I want to please myself. They are lying. And let me show you how they lie. You let them spend on a hairdo, and you come home and don't notice it. You know they're lying. They did it so that you will notice it. You let them leave home, they're well dressed, and you never complimented them on how they look. You will know they did it to be admired. Admirability. That's what they want to purchase from a man. And a man has got to say, am I prepared to sell her loyalty? Am I prepared to sell her admirability? The third thing she wants to purchase from a man is security. Yeah? The reason she's in the relationship with you, there's a certain amount of emotional and financial security she's looking for. And this is what makes her sleep well at night. She knows once she comes home, everything is all right. She knows once he is in her life that things will be all right. And so she wants security. She wants to know that anytime there is a knock on the door, he's not going to tell her, girl, go see who outside. Anytime a snake comes in the house, he is going to try and kill it. I got a hallelujah in the corner here. You don't want to have a man and you and the man running from the same thing. You want a man who will put aside his fears temporarily to secure me, to secure his family, secure his children. You don't want a neighbor to start quarreling and cussing with your family, and he is running and leave the family out there to a man who's menacing with a cutlass. You want the man to come out and say, get out of my yard. Leave my family alone. You want a man who will be able to stand up, and a woman feels pride in a man who will risk his life to save them. But she has a problem with a man who calls himself a man. And when the man comes, she's the one who has to go out there and protect him. That's what Brother Murchison called the money coup. So what is it a woman wants to purchase from a man? Right. And the other thing she wants to purchase from the man is intimacy, not necessarily sex. We as men get ourselves mixed up with what intimacy and sex is. We think as long as we begin to hug and cuddle, it must lead somewhere. she doesn't necessarily need it to lead anywhere. She just wants that feeling that she gets of having a man who wants to be close to her because she feels this is me he appreciates. If it always has to go to sex, she feels it is sex he wants. So she feels used. And in some cases, abused. But when he understands, she wants intimacy, so therefore I will give her intimacy, closeness, affinity, and this lovability. Then, once in this business arrangement, he is prepared to purchase from her sex and somebody to take care of him, and he's prepared to therefore make sure that he's loyal, make sure that he's intimate, make sure that he secures her, and make sure that, what's the other one? He admires her. Then you have a good arrangement in this business. It's what you call a very good business arrangement in a nice marketplace. But when women, in the case when Brother Murchison was talking, put on all of these exposing clothes, he's visual. So it's like going to the supermarket. You want sugar, flour, rice, which are the real substance to maintain your family. And you go in there, and you didn't check yourself properly. You didn't walk with no list. And you see chocolate, cheese sticks, Zumas. And you buy it. Because they are packaged more attractively than flour, sugar, rice. And then you buy it, you go home and you eat, and then you feel bloated. And then you have what is called, in economics, buyer's remorse. I now regret that I buy it. Have you ever gone to the mall and bought some stuff because you had the money on you and so on, and you buy a shoe just like the shoe you have home, you buy a dress, it resembles the one you have home and so on. When you go home, you tell yourself, what did I buy all of this thing for? That is what we call buyer's remorse. And in relationships, many people get into buyer's remorse. The relationship they land up with, they regret that they did. Because it's not the relationship that they really wanted. And half the time, it's because I just came out of a relationship here that was bad. And I couldn't be by myself long enough. So I rushed into a next relationship and then realized the guy that I rushed into is just like the last guy I left. Or the girl is just like the last girl I left. I never sat down and got a hold of myself. I never got to learn myself. And as long as you're getting into a rebound relationship, sometimes the person left that last one. It's not that they're free. It's because the person left. But if the person comes back, you are out in the cold. Because they are likely to go back to the person they left. Because they never recovered properly. So that's why when you see goat with a half rope, there you go. So let's see if we could get it. 5 wisdom steps to happiness in dating and marriage. And I want to run it through because I see food reach. 5 wisdom steps. Because we enter into a relationship too fast, old people used to say, you decide in haste, you regret in leisure. You will have a lot of time to regret. So, let's see if we could find, I am recommending, if you take these 5 steps here in a relationship, there's a high chance you're going to have a relationship that will last. There's no guarantee anybody's relationship will work, but there's a high chance it will last. Number 1. Somebody must always be an acquaintance. I think, could we just shift it? An acquaintance. An acquaintance is someone who knows, you know slightly, but who is not a close friend. People meet people in a function, in a wedding, in an office event, and so on. Watch the person, admire the person, like the person, and ask them for their phone number. They're on WhatsApp till 10, 11 o'clock in the night the same day. They're asked to go out by the next weekend, and they go out and they say they're in a relationship in 1 week's time. I'm telling you, anytime you're driving faster than your headlights, you will crash. Those of you who ride bicycle with them dim lights would know what I'm talking about. By the time you reach on the pothole, you're on the pothole. You're just riding too fast for the headlights you have. Right? And so therefore, make the person an acquaintance. You're not in a relationship with the person. This is a person that is not a close friend, but you know them slightly. You see them on the taxi stand, you all take taxi to the same place, or the person is the taxi driver. Or the person works with you, you think you admire the person, you say nothing. Don't even indicate anything. It's an acquaintance. You are assessing the person, and here's what you're doing. You are trying to figure out, given my values and what I'm looking for, I am examining to see if this person qualifies. Yeah, this is why you must know yourself first before you even start getting into relationships. Does this person qualify? And as you admire them, and then you recognize, you see the kind of cuss that this person I'm watching cussing down and how they're behaving is not my style. But you have lost nothing because the person is an acquaintance. You never invested in them, so therefore they can continue to be an acquaintance. You haven't made an enemy. But if when you have admired them and watching that and so on, oh, I like the person how they deport themselves. I like how they carry themselves. I like how they talk and how friendly they are and how they are helpful to other people. That lines up with my value. I like their belief. I like the fact that they admire God and so on, and they have some godliness in them. Wonderful. Then once the person has passed that stage, you can now graduate it to the next stage. Wait, before we go on, this one says an acquaintance is a person you know well enough to borrow from, but not well enough to lend to. Yeah? I find that cute. Which means I can gain from you, but I would not risk anything to lose. Yeah? This is why you wave them, you say hi, how was your day? You have nothing to lose. You understand? They could like you, they could come and tell you they like you. Then you don't have to tell them I like you back. You don't have to invest in it. So an acquaintance is a nice person to keep in that way. Second one, you make them a public friend where we all go out together as groups. Whether it's a youth group, whether it is a work group, or whether it is. Why? Because you don't want to make it too personal yet. This person doesn't have your WhatsApp and all of that at this stage. This person is not messaging you 1 a.m. and so on, because they don't qualify for that yet. You see them WhatsApp you, yes, but you don't answer it. Why? You need to manage the phases. If it moves too fast, you begin to get an impression. Let me tell you about it. When we talk too long to people, you begin to get the impression you like them. But it's just familiarity that is growing. And half the time, you are driving under the influence. You're single, you're lonely, you're looking, and so you're glad to fill a void. So you will always interpret everything the person does in a positive way. It's called pre-digested thinking. I have pre-digested you to be somebody I'm sure this will work. So you ignore all the signs of what is not going right. Even when they do certain things that seems questionable, you will justify it. Even when other people tell you, you know that boy or that girl, I find that something wrong with them. Even when your friend come and say, you know, your boy tried to hit on me, you will always justify it and say, they tried to thief your boy from you. Because you are pre-digesting them only in a positive sense. But after you get into the relationship with the person, you flip the switch. You pre-digest them negatively, that even when people telling you, but you know you have a nice man. Who he? You ain't who he. Why? Because you're only thinking of the person now negatively. So give yourself a chance to just straighten out your emotion, because your emotion is flying. Right? And so when you go out with them in the public, see how they operate with other people. See how whenever they fall out with other people, how they deal with the fallout. Do they carry on? Do they have an anger problem? Are they hasty? Are they judgmental? All of that. Because I'm watching you. If when you see how they carry on with their friends and what they talk about and listen to how they talk about women and listen to how they talk about men, you tell yourself, then you can just tell yourself, I could leave that there. You have lost nothing. Because you could still go out in groups with them. Because you never invested. But if you tell yourself, wow, I like how he managed that situation. They accused him and he never lost it. He was able to sit down and discuss it and defend himself. He was able to keep his cool. I like that. I like how he thinks. I like how he operates. It's a group thing. All of us went out together and everybody was supposed to bring this, bring that, bring the other. He shared what he brought and he was able to recognize somebody didn't bring and he shared with theirs. I like that. So therefore, I could now graduate him or her to the next level. Personal friends. Personal friend, according to the definition, a friend is someone with whom you dare to be yourself. Why? Because you can now expose all of your pain, your hurt, your history, and they won't judge you. A personal friend is where you ask questions that you couldn't ask while you were an acquaintance. You can't ask me who was my last girlfriend and you're an acquaintance. An acquaintance, remember, is not a close friend. It's somebody that I just meet on the taxi stand. You can ask me, who's your last girlfriend, Mike? No, you don't have that right. But as a personal friend, you do. Yeah, because we are chums now. At this stage, we are texting and we are talking on WhatsApp and we are on Skype and so on, and we're talking long hours and so on, because now we have more information on each other. You'll recognize that I and my father never had a good relationship. You'll now be able to know why is it I have an issue. You'll understand that me and my brothers and sisters, we don't get along. Now I understand some things about him. I understand why he doesn't trust people. Whatever it is, we can expose ourselves and you can know that I can hear and don't judge. At this stage, you could also know that the person is already in a relationship. You're supposed to, because what kind of personal friend if you can't find that out at this stage? You understand? So, unlike a situation where a lady told me she was courting with a guy for 7 years, and she called in on the radio program and she was crying and she was saying, listen, she doesn't understand why men so liar and hypocritical and so on. I said, what's your problem? She said, she's with this guy for 7 years and now she finds out he's married. I said, that's not his issue, that's yours. You didn't do your homework. Well, every time I say, let him come and visit, he usually say, well, he going by his aunt, or he has to go to Trinidad, or he has to do this, he has to do that. He always comes up with some excuse. And I say, it worked for 7 years. Why should he stop it? You must have gotten a trigger along the way that, no, why is it he's avoiding me seeing his family? Well, it's probably because he's married. You can't take 7 years to find that out if he's a personal friend. If you are taking the stages that it would have been able to reveal. You're not supposed to find out something there. So up to this point, you're still not dating the person, you know. You don't ever date somebody to see if it will work. You date somebody because you feel highly that it will work. We don't date in order to investigate. No. Because you'll just be going in a relationship and coming back out. It didn't work. You go in the next one, let me see if it will work. Oh yes, this one ain't working. And before you know it, you have 6, 7 people in your history that it didn't work with. That's not a good system. I'm not going to be a car dealer and you just coming in every day and just try out a new car. What do you think it is? You can't just come and sample. It's not Chenet. When you come to buy a car, you have already gone to the bank to investigate whether you have the capacity to purchase a car. You have already gone through a certain thing. So when you come to me, you are a serious buyer. You can't go into a relationship and you're not serious yet, and you have somebody accepting you and you're not serious. One girl told me, she is with this guy, and she said to me, the guy told her, I am only with you until I meet somebody better. And I asked, are you all still in a relationship? Say yes. You know, there's a song that you say, hit the road, Jack. That shows you ain't ready yet. And I was telling that person, soon abuse will begin. Why? Because you have signaled to the person, you don't even value yourself. That you will hold on in a temporary situation, waiting for a higher rent. No, man. So something has got to be wrong with that. So you get into a personal friendship, but you're not dating yet. After you do that, then you now start dating. Some people date too early. So they don't know if they're dating or if they are just friends.
Yes, it's concerning the term dating. You have your own definition of what is dating. It's different to what Brother Alexis referred to as dating before. Sounds a little different.
What is Alexis?
He mentioned that dating should happen. It's not as serious as the courting. Dating between 10 and 17 in groups, social events, so and so, getting to know each other.
Right.
Whereas dating here seems a bit higher.
Right.
Level.
That's right. Because his dating is what I put as a personal friend. You understand? My dating is, we have now locked off every other person. Sorry? The whole process is courtship. The whole process. But when we are dating, there is no other. When we are personal friends, you could, you're going out with somebody else, you have somebody else that you're meeting and so on, because remember now, I haven't invested in you, we haven't done anything, so therefore you have other people that you have an event, you go out with somebody else. But now that we are dating, in my mind, and this is my personal position here, there isn't a situation of you going out with somebody else, of you in a relationship with somebody else, because we are now dating. And if you're not ready for this, we should not be at this stage here at all. Right? So, as we are dating, we are discussing in this dating phase marriage, you know. We should never be in dating phase if marriage is not under discussion. Yeah? And a lot of people dating, and when you talk to them, so what about plans all have for the future? Well, we have no plans. That is why they just put up on their status on Facebook, relationship, complicated. Yeah? Because you don't know if you're dating or if you're in a friendship. You introduce your girlfriend. The person who you are with is of the opinion that this is my boyfriend. We are dating. And you introduce the person. I want you to meet my friend. And you sit down and smile and shake hands. No, man. They have just signaled to the person something to you, you know, that you should be able to pick up on. This is my girlfriend. I would like you to meet her. That says clearly, and when a man reaches that stage, he's also signaling to anybody else within earshot that this is off limits. And I am occupied. But if a guy wants to keep himself free, he will say, no, he's a friend. So that you will, in case you're interested in me, still available. Yeah, I hear you. It happens on both sides. But from my experience, it mostly men introduce their girls as a friend. From my experience. Right? While it happens on both sides. Yeah? So, but I agree with you because, you know, when a woman has a child, her number one priority is a child. If you check her purse, the picture is with her child. You check her desk at work, chances are she has a picture of her child. If you check her Facebook, the picture of her child. But with a man, the picture in his wallet is going to be more. Even if he has one of his child, his woman is there. Right. Yeah, because we are possessors. No, God made us possessors, conquerors. We hunt and conquer and bring down. We dominate. And let me tell you how powerful, you know, you say that, eh? Because we are possessors, women were never made to be possessors. Women were made to be nurturers. That's why God gave the woman mammary glands and not the man. Because she's supposed to be a nurturer. If a woman does not have something to nurture, she's always affected emotionally. If she doesn't have something to nurture. A man, if he has nothing to nurture, nothing happens to him. But if a man does not have something to possess, he's affected. Let him lose his house to the bank or his woman take the house. You'll see how he will kill people and murder himself. Or murder other people and kill himself. In any one of those orders. Because she has taken something he possesses. You understand? And let me tell you, if a woman gets a degree, a master's, a doctorate, buys a house, a car, land, owns a business, owns all of that, and she does not have a relationship that she can nurture, she is still frustrated. Still frustrated in life. But if a man does not have car, house, land, woman, children, whatever it is, thing to say, this is mine, my woman, my children, my this, and so on, he's going to be a frustrated fellow. So don't get tired. But we have in society more women going after possessing things, and you've seen a lot of frustrated women. And that's one of the reasons why, because they've been investing in owning and not investing in nurturing, they are becoming successful in business. And remember what I started, how come people becoming successful and losing in relationship? She's becoming good at owning and not good at nurturing. And she's frustrated. Well, because we're now looking at it, even dogs now, women are getting close to dogs and close to animals to nurture. Nothing is wrong with that. But you have a number of people have now crossed the border and the dog is no longer just a pet. So now we're getting to married life. That is where it's supposed to land up. Where you move from that stage to married life. So, and I want to close off by telling you this. So what they did, they didn't put the last slide. Okay, so they didn't put it. Only marry an able person. Able, A-B-L-E, able person. The first one in able is that he must be available. Yeah? Don't get into a relationship with somebody who is not available. Yeah? Yeah? Because you'll hurt yourself. The second person you should get into a relationship with is a person who is teachable. Yeah? Regardless who it is. There are some people, you can't teach them nothing. They don't want to learn. They think they know it all. They think they've arrived. And they think they understand everything in life. But even the Bible says a little child shall lead them. So we can learn things from everybody. No man is so wise that his wife is so stupid. No woman is so bright that her husband is so dumb. You need somebody who is teachable, who could be able to sit and learn because they have a learning spirit. The third one is that the person must be reachable. There are some people you just can't reach them. You can't reach their emotions. You can't reach their feelings. They have locked off their feelings. They are numb to feelings. You can't reach them. And the fourth one is that he must be or she must be reasonable. There are some highly unreasonable people. Trust me. So some of us have already been in courtship or married to some of them or met some of them or one of your relatives have met some unreasonable people. I always talk about this where there's this woman who I worked with. Work was finished and it was raining heavily. She called for her husband to come and pick her. He said to her, he washed the car already. He ain't coming out back and ask you to pick her. Left work after 7 o'clock because it rained like rain. Because he could not dirty his car. That is an unreasonable person. Never get into a relationship with those type of people. Why? Because you can't reason with them, you can't reach them. How could your car be so important that you will leave your family stuck in rain because you don't want to wash your car a second time? Yeah? Any questions and then we close off? Yes? Just Hannah, because we have the yes. It's not on.
Right. Bouncing off from the first session into your session, right? If you go through all the phases, everything is good, it leads to marriage. And after marriage, let's say the first 2 years, everything is good, and then everything goes south from there. What are the recommendations or what you should do? Should you try revisiting the whole process again, not with somebody else, but with the same person, or what are your recommendations?
Good. Will your relationship hit rocks? Then I'm in a normal relationship. So are you all right? If it's not supposed to hit rocks, then I am in an abnormal relationship because it's not supposed to hit rocks and mine has hit rocks. But if it hit rocks, then I am in a normal relationship. I would have to be abnormal not to expect that. Yeah, but this is why we're supposed to be counseled before, so that we'll know, hey, this is normal thing. So I am so happy that I'm not in an abnormal, and I'm not abnormal to also feel the pain of it hitting rocks, because I'm supposed to feel pain in it hitting rocks. So I'm not normal still. Yeah? What people do, we have read too many Mills and Boons probably, and watched too much television. So we have this, and they live happily ever after. That's not normal. That abnormality is what we have absorbed and not recognized that the blessing of your relationship is going to show up years down the road. The original word for marriage is the word gem, G-E-M, an expensive piece of jewelry. those gems are always hidden in the depths of the earth. And the reason why they say 4 things make a gem in the earth. Pressure of the earth on the gem. Your relationship will go through some pressure. Time is not going to happen overnight. It takes years for that gem under pressure to exist. Friction, the movement of the earth that creates the heat, is necessary for the making of the gem. If all of that did not take place, the pressure, the friction, and the heat, you will never get the gem. Yeah? So, you need that in order for the gem to come forth. And once you have all of those coming together, heat is the 4th one. Because the friction will create heat. So we'll have some heated arguments, and that's all right. We're not supposed to think the same way. If you and I think the same way, then you have no value to me, because I have already think that way already. You see? So the fact that you think differently gives me a chance to now gain something new, because now we are in an argument. But here's what some people do. They jump out of the argument too soon. As soon as you don't agree with me, all right, let me done. So I never gained. So I have just stopped the gem from forming. Yeah? So, yes, 2 years into it, 3 years into it, wonderful. Let's get it going, especially if you could get all of that during the courtship. We argue, we fight, and so on. Then we get good practice before. Yes. Right. Because backing out can't be the answer for it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, boy. It was just a little thing in the carburetor, you know. Just the carburetor. The car running smooth, boy. It's a real good buy I get from you. Yeah. We like an engine block. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Take the pressure. The gem will be formed. Yes. Is Johnny Walker keep walking?
Putting into what Jenny asked, if it is that you do go through the whole process, this is just my opinion, and that happens after, as they say, it may be good. Once you review it and you did go through the process, I guess it would be easier, because then you could be able to see where it is that you went wrong and try. It would make it easier to try to fix it.
Yes.
But if you don't have the process at all and you went through it, will be harder to do.
That's right. The process reduces the chances of you having those issues down the road. So therefore, that 5-phase wisdom step is going to really save you a lot of trouble. Yes.
You spoke about the part about women who excelling, and a lot of men who seem not even to excel in their own areas, whether they are a mechanic or electrician, not improving themselves. But the thing is, the difference with women, at least what I look at it, I'm improving myself because I see where I want to grow in my job, etc., etc. But, you know, hold on to those things again, you want to nurture. So when I achieve these things in my workplace or job, it's because I'm thinking of the family. This will better the family. We will match each other. But a lot of times men are insecure, and they see when you move up the ladder, or they even meet you educated, they feel, well, you know, you will want to dominate them, or you feel better than them, you know, but sometimes it's not about that. If you're a woman of God, and you want a husband who you can look up to, and somebody you want to be able to submit onto, you know, because you're going that route, you know, it's like, this is just material, this is just job, this is just, so I can qualify for a $1.5 million mortgage. You understand? These are the realities out there. You know, and he might be an electrician making plenty more money than you. You know, but it's just that sometimes they see these things and it makes them insecure. But you don't see those things as important.
My personal view, and then we'll close off. Our women invest more in qualifying to satisfy secular interests than to satisfy family interests. The reason why we go and we get all this education, we will get a job to advance a man's business, but we are not at home to advance our home business. So one will gain, the other one will lose. My employer will be successful because I have given him, first I went to school for 8 years, and then I am now in his job for 8 hours. So I am at home at the tired part of my day to invest in the more valuable part of my life. Something must be wrong with that. I am not against women working. I am supportive of women working. But if a man is to provide security, because that's what the woman is asking for as one of the things she purchasing, he must do that. And if staying home to wash the dishes and clean away is going to take him away from providing for the security, he has to make a call. But if the woman who is to nurture is working and that work is taken away from her nurturing, she has to make a call, because one will lose. Both cannot lose. And so we have got to ask ourselves, what is more important to me? And I usually use the example of Wassa. Wassa used to rent cars. I mean, they had a mechanic shop to be able to see about all the vehicles. They used to purchase vehicles and so on. And hardly anybody had water. But the name was Wassa. Your main core business is providing what? Water. But because you're purchasing vehicles, you don't have money to run the pipes. And then you have to now have a mechanic thing to fix all of those vehicles, so you don't have the thing to do your core business. Wassa said, no man, this can't work. Wassa said, we'll stop buying vehicles and we'll close down the mechanic shops, and we'll do our core business as providing water. So we will lease vehicles. All of Wassa vehicles are lease vehicles. Let them fix their own vehicle when it goes bad. We will provide water. That's how most of us now, today, have water. Yeah? Right. You understand? So, my core business is taking care of my family. And I must never let anything else come between that. Friends, liming, nothing must come between my core business. And a woman's core business is to nurture her family. Nothing must come between it. If she can handle that and studies and handle that and work and so on, fine. God bless her. But if she cannot complain. Oh, I have all of this work to do and I have to come home and see family, and she complains. And the issue, she says, is the family. No. Something has to be wrong. That's my personal view on it. Thank you all very much. Let's have a prayer and bless the meal. Thank you, Lord, for today. We pray, Father, a special blessing upon this meal. And we pray to God that you'll bless it in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah, meals are available at the back there at a cost. And just remember that we'll come back in about